4D opening Chanel purse with a credit card inside. Acrylic nail art tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi everybody, in today's video I'm going to show you a 4D Chanel purse that is so extreme and so cool. So it's got the actual chain that's loose on the nail, the flap opens up on the top, it's got a magnetic closure, and inside the purse I have a little credit card that I made, not with real numbers, and if you do recreate this design, please don't use real numbers, but it's just a really cute little design with a credit card coming out of it. I did not do the iconic double flap on a Chanel purse because I just didn't feel like there was enough space on the nail to make it so it actually closed up and over it and the magnet to hold if there was a double flap. But if you wanted to play around with that, have at it. I'd love to see what it would look like with a double flap. So if you do decide to do a recreation, please take me. I'd love to see them. I'd always love to see your recreations, guys. I always feel so flattered when somebody takes me. So please don't forget to click subscribe, see all my future videos as well.
I'm going to begin with an overlay of white acrylic. White is a very trendy color right now for nails and for overlays, especially with a bit of chrome powder on top, and I wanted this whole nail to look very trendy and chic and elegant, so I figured a white background would really kind of give the vibe I was going for. So I'm going to apply that in a nice overlay to the thickness that I want the nail to be. And then after I have that fully applied, then I'm going to take my e-file and file this nail into shape. And I've been using just a medium grit barrel bit these days for filing these nails. And when I'm done, I sometimes will take a little wipe that is saturated with acetone to cleanse the nail and smooth it out if I want to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on how picky I'm being that day. And I'm going to apply a layer of no wipe gel top coat. After that's cured, I'm going to burnish in some pink chrome powder to give this nail sort of a pinky hue to it without overdoing it, and then apply some gel sealer over the top of the nail to protect that chrome powder. Cure that one more time. And now on a nail form backing, I'm going to start sculpting the two rectangles for the front and the back of the Chanel purse. Now when you're looking at sculpting something like this purse, the great thing is there's so many different styles and little design cues that you could take that you could really personalize this and make it your own. So even though you can follow the basic steps that I'm showing you, you can just switch things up and have some fun with it and do it exactly how you'd like. So you want to try and make these two rectangles as close to the exact same size as possible. If you want to, you can make a little drawing as a template and place it underneath your nail form backing, and that will make it so that you can see it and you can make sure that they're close to the same size if you aren't confident just by eyeballing it. And they don't have to be exact, but as long as it's close, you're good enough. So now next to one of the sides or one of the front pieces, I'm going to make one of the side pieces. So with more of that pink acrylic, I'm going to sculpt just a little thin, squarish rectangle that is about the same height as the sides of my purse are. So just sculpt that and then let it set up for a little while. You want it to be close to fully set and cured, but not 100%. So you're just going to leave it. As you can see, this video is sped up, obviously, so it's going to be longer, but it's like a minute, give or take. You want it to really be able to hold its shape and still have a little bit of stickiness. So you just have to find your balance. But then I'm going to place it on one of the sides while it's still in that still moldable state, and then press the other side to it, because the Chanel purses have a sort of a rippled look to them so that they can open and close on the sides of the leather. So it's not a straight edged side, it's got that kind of soft, flexible look to it. And while this won't actually be flexible long term because the acrylic will set up and turn hard, it still gives you that impression that it's flexible and soft, like the Chanel purses are. So I'm going to repeat that for the other side of the purse. So same thing, sculpt a squarish rectangle. It depends on how much wiggle room and how much slack you want to give it, really. And then after that's ready, you can pick it up and kind of just fit it into that opening. On the other side, use the tip of your brush to press down and kind of create those wrinkles in it. A silicone tool, as I'm using right now, can always help too. And then after you're done with that, I'm going to use some more of that pink acrylic, and I'm going to sculpt the bottom of my purse. And this pink acrylic I'm using is Weekend Warrior from Double Dip Nails. I can put the actual number code for this color in the description box below, as well as a coupon code for it if you're interested in this color. It is so pretty, and it has that nice little, very girly sparkle to it, which I loved for this design. And now on a silicone mat, I'm going to use a pink gel polish that is as close to the same color as my acrylic as I could find, and I'm going to paint the top flap of the purse. So I'm going to use a smaller brush to create more of a detailed top or, flap to it. But just add that little pink layer and then do a second coat of the pink gel polish and cure it again. You don't want it to be too thin where it's fragile. And then a layer of matte gel top coat over all of that gel polish. Fill in the matte gel top coat all the way in all the edges. If you have to use a little brush, go for it. Cure that one more time, and then you can peel that off your silicone mat and you have a flexible flap for the top of the purse. So I'm going to trim the edges so they're nice and square and the right width, and then fit that across the top of the purse to make sure that it folds all the way nice up and over. Once I have it in the right spot, I'm going to glue the edge down in the back. So I'm just going to take some little brush on glue, and holding that in place while I'm waiting to glue it was probably one of the most hard things about this design, just because it kept sliding, and until it's glued in place it did not want to stay. But now, using the same color pink gel polish I was using before, I'm going to be painting a diamond pattern across the top of this flap. So I'm going to do just a whole bunch of diamonds and make them all as close to, the same size and shape as I possibly can, and layer them all the way across. So I'm going to do one row, and then I'm going to continue that pattern and do the second row, third row, etc. When you're painting these little diamonds, I know it's really tempting so that you don't mess them up, but don't flash cure them or anything. You want this gel to stay wet until you're done with the entire pattern. Like I said, it's so tempting to me to flash cure things just because I know how easy it is to accidentally smudge it, and that would be so devastating because you'd have to start over. But trust me, you don't want to flash cure, because we're going to apply some clear acrylic powder over the top of this uncured gel to give it a very velvety, soft look to it. So I'm going to continue working on all of those little diamond shapes with that pink gel polish. And this one is Perfect Pink from Madame Glam. So if you guys are looking to see what this perfect combination of pinks was for me, it was Weekend Warrior and Perfect Pink from Double Dip and Madame Glam. And they matched better than I could have imagined. So then after all of that, before we cure, like I said, sprinkle some clear acrylic powder over the top of the purse, tap it off so that there's not too much extra powder, and then cure it. So I'm going to repeat those same steps on the front of the purse. You don't have to worry about doing it to the back, even though the back would have that same pattern to it, because it's going to be glued to the nail and you're not going to be able to see it anyway. So it would just be some wasted time. Now, however, if you were making this purse for, say, a Barbie toy or a Barbie accessory, you would want to apply the same patterning over the back of the purse as well. And this could certainly be a Barbie thing. If you guys have daughters that are into Barbies, that would be so cute to make little purses that are designer. But I'm going to mark two dots on the top of the purse, and then use a very narrow bit on my e-file and drill a hole through the top of the purse, through that top flap, so that that's going to give a space for the chain to go through. So now, using a wire or a metal chain, I'm going to pull that through the holes and then glue that down underneath the flap. So after it's pulled through, I'm just going to apply a little bit of nail glue and then set that chain in there. Leave that to set up before you do the other side, but then cut off the amount of chain you want and then push that through the other hole in the top of the purse. And I know that Chanel purses, like I said in the intro, have a double flap, and that's kind of one of the hallmarks of the Chanel purses, and I decided not to do that. If you wanted to, you certainly could. It'd just be adding another layer to it. But then I'm going to glue a little CC charm that I have to the little flap, to the front flap, and then I'm going to take and kind of visually decide where that flap is going to sit, and then take my e-file and create a little indent in the front of the purse, a little groove. Brush off that extra dust that I just kicked up, and then glue a magnet into that hole. So just a little bit of nail glue, just tap that into that hole, and then grab a magnet. You can either use a tweezers, your finger, or a rhinestone picker. Place it into the hole, press it down in so it's nice and flat. Place another magnet on top of it, and then add a little dab of glue to the top of that second magnet, and then hold the purse closed, and the glue will hold onto the flap of the purse, creating a magnetic closure. So now I'm going to glue the purse onto the nail, and then with some jewelry gel that I applied along the upper cuticle area and then right along the free edge, I'm going to attach a series of rhinestones and little iridescent pearls to give this nail just a little bit more glitz and glamour. Like I said, I want it to be super girly and very elegant and trendy, and just kind of give you that, I don't know, Chanel purse vibe, I suppose. Back to my silicone mat, I'm going to be painting my little credit card. And with this, you can have a lot of fun with it because credit card designs could be almost anything. I know the one credit card that I use, they let you import your own picture if you want. So if you want to, you can go completely crazy with this, or you could do something a little bit, fancy, and you could do like an Amex Black card if you want, or whatever. You could just paint some dollar bills, but you need to fill this purse. So I'm going to use a blue, like a really rich blue to blue gradient, and just apply that with some gel polish. Blend it together. Flash cure this pretty much between each and every coat and every color. And then I'm going to do a very kind of abstract MasterCard logo. And I'm going to add a little silver square for where the chip would be. And then so I've got the orange circle and then the yellow circle for the MasterCard logo. And then I'm going to take white gel paint and I'm going to be adding a row of numbers across the bottom of the card. This one, instead of doing 16 numbers like you normally would, I decided I didn't have space for that. So I only did, I believe it was 12 numbers across the bottom of the card. So that's kind of, up to you, however many you can fit. Nobody's actually going to pay attention to the little numbers, so you can do what you'd like. And I'm going to seal the card with some gel top coat. And then after that's cured the final time, you can peel it off your silicone mat and flip it over. And then on the back side, you're going to want to paint the make strip. So a nice black line across the top of the card. And then after that's done with a white gel polish or gel paint, I'm going to add just a little box for where your signature would be. And if you want, you can sign the card too. That's up to you. And then I'm going to paint another layer of gel top coat over the back of the card, cure it one final time, and then your little MasterCard is done. I'm going to trim the edges of that to make sure that they're nice and straight and clean looking. And then after you have that done, you can put it into your purse. And that is it. I think this design is absolutely just adorable. I love the way it is. I am a purse hog. So purse designs and shoe designs and all that fun stuff are right up my alley. I think this is just so cute. And I love that you can actually open it and you could store all sorts of little stuff in there. You could make like a little lipstick to put in it or a little wallet. You could really go all out. So I hope you guys like it. And please share any recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram. I would love to see them, and I will see you next time. Bye.